Art students, Brian Proctor, the art teacher, back again with another video. And I don't know why I sound so somber. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to do a bit of something different. As you notice, I have my long paper. And for a while, people have been asking me how to draw like really big guys. It's my camera. It's my camera. It's not at the best angle. Let me fix that right now because it's going to do that. Before I draw, I'll fix it. And what was I saying? People have been asking me how to draw big guys and how to draw this size and how to draw that size. So I'm going to do a comparison, 3 bodies together, action pose, 3 bodies together, and just your average, your muscular, and then your huge, like right next to each other. Just kind of give you a comparison and then tell you what makes them bigger or smaller or whatever. So that's what I'm going to do today. All right, so let's get started as soon as I get my head together, and then we'll get going. All right, so let me get 3 rough sketches down of a little position, nothing too crazy, and just trying to keep them all the same size. So and it also determines the whole thing, the size of the whole thing. So curve them like this, put the head here. And this guy, he already starts out big, so I'm gonna have to slim him out a little bit because, yeah, that's just, it's too big for what I wanna do. But I think we all start out, all artists have that, once we get that style down, our style down, we kind of stay with that. What am I saying? I don't know, just style. Style. All right, so that's 1. If I can do 2, same size, and the third one. Looking, make sure I have room for this third guy over here. Is that too light for you guys? Well, anyway, let's get it. And this is kind of a flying position. Why am I huffing? I don't know. Kind of like a hovering type of position. Is this? I thought it was blurred. It's just my paper. And the third guy. He's gonna be the big guy, so I'm gonna need a little more room for this guy. And I'm putting the head on second, so I make sure I don't take it off the page because it's kind of an unknown size. And already this guy's a little bigger than the other 2. But he's gonna be much bigger, much bigger. So now that I know it fits,
hopefully this guy will still fit. I'll go back and then I will put in the limbs. So this is a 3/4 turn. I'm gonna get this, make a little bicep, kind of going back, and then the arm, put it out. So I'm gonna bring out a little further, and then down. And then bring that hand in. Since I might as well just go ahead and do all 3 together. He's gonna be really small, so he's gonna take up less room. And this is good practice just to get a position down. Just do it over and over and over again. It makes it easy, so when you get the final drawing, you are there. Bicep. And then that. Delt is going to go out. And then more down.
All right, so those are my three positions. So I'm going to, this guy's going to be slim. He's still going to have muscles, but he's going to be slim. And the one thing you don't want is too much roundness. So let's start with his body. Keep the shape. It's going to be more longer, but you're still going to have, not going to be any longer than the rest, but because it's not that much meat or muscle on the guy, it kind of makes him look a little taller. Just why that's like thick, the big, thick, hulking looking guys always look bigger or shorter because the muscles are just so round. So we have this. So collarbone, the chest. Now I'm going to draw it. I'm going to draw it through, and I'm going to erase a few lines. That's going to be the rib cage. This is going to be the, what is that? I'm tired. It's been a week. The obliques going down, and then your legs are going to come up here, and you're going to see a little buttocks. So with something like this, it's not going to be as round, shall we say. Give it more of a longness. It's going to have some kind of curve to it, but not a lot. And the shoulders are not going to be as broad. So I'm going to narrow that down by just chopping this here, and this is where the delt is going to go. He would still be a kind of a hero, but he would be more of a swimmer or a runner, somebody really lean. And you will get a better example of it when I do this guy. Still going to have that neck that's going to come to the top of that circle, and then up, and then that head. And usually I put the chin where I do this little curve right there. I like to put my chin right there, depending on the angle of the picture. And he's going to be looking this way, kind of like at us. Now, foot and hands. Checking my clock because I got to run out of here in a second. I'm not going to do like I did the last video. I didn't really check everything before I inked it. I just inked it, and after I inked it, the arm was too long. And this foot is going to be leaning down, but it's still going to be behind. That's about right there. It's good to cut your ankles and your ankles and arms off. That way you can kind of look at it and know that it might be too short or too long. So he is really tall. He's not really tall. He's the same size as I drew it, but because it's narrow, it makes him look tall. Because he's thin, it makes him look tall. Give him a little bit of lats, a little bit of chest. Still that. I'll slope this down a little bit, not make it round, slope it down. And give a little bit of cut to the arm. Maybe cut it right there. Stop flying around. Still bring that stomach in and then come back out. You have this rib cage, you have the part of the stomach, and you have this, again, you have this oblique. Now, what I would do is I would cut some of this stuff off. As in, I'm not going to make the connections. I'm not going to have like stuff connect.
We want it open. So this is going to come out like this and go up.
So as you can see, he's still slim. He does have a workout body. And he could be a superhero. Slope these down and up. So you can see the back of that arm, and then this, that, and then I'm not even put that hand down, put that hand up. Just put it straight. And then just get this part of the palm. You have two pieces of the round palm, and where this piece comes, the thumb hooks, comes around. You're going to see this finger here, the curve in, and you're going to see that other piece of that palm, and you're going to see some more finger back here, which I will adjust in ink. So a little bit of bicep curve right there, and then we're still going to retain the shape. Ankle, ankle, foot, knee, get a little curve in. And again, so this is gonna be like one piece, but I'm not gonna really have it connecting too much. Curve instead of round, a little dip right here. Just a little collarbone, a little neck. Square chin and that head. Yeah, so I didn't give him I didn't give him a small neck, but it's enough neck. And I need to run out, and when I start drawing, I get like I get into it. You know, I don't really want to stop. I should have ran out like 5 minutes ago. So I'm going to stop right here. You guys won't know it, but I'll probably be finishing this tomorrow, because when I get back, it's going to be dark. So just ponder over this guy right now, for right now. All right, back in a sec, which will be tomorrow. All right, here we are back again. So let's go to the middle guy, who is going to be basically the size that I tend to usually draw out of habit. So we already have the makings, the basics. So getting the stomach in here. And what I usually do first is I throw my lines in, and then I can kind of like bulk them up a little bit, however I need to do, or slim them down, whichever one. Oh, one thing that I had to see as I was away for a couple of days, the delt usually ends up, I usually do them kind of short. I don't know, it's just been a habit. But your delts usually come down to the bottom of your chest, or really close to it. So you want to make your delts a little bit longer. Well, his arm is swung out, so if he put his arm down, it would bring it a little closer to the bottom of his chest, because this is, as you know, if you've been drawing for a while, this is kind of like one piece right here, and then you have this little point that comes down. Only when you're highly developed, but this guy's not highly developed, so it's just, he's just really got a nice shape to it. So once again, what I'm going to do is just bring this down a little bit more, give them a little curve, and then there, and then maybe just a little bit here. Remember, I'm not connecting. So and same thing with this, it will come down just a little teeny bit more. And that's why it's good to walk away from your drawings for a while. So when you come back, you'll come back with a fresh eye, seeing what's right and what's not right, or what needs to be improved. So like I could say curve this in a little bit more and curve that and bring this foot in a little bit more, but I'm doing it now. I was gonna say I'm not gonna worry about it, but I'm doing it now because it's just like right there under my pencil. So when I ink it, I'll perfect it a little bit more. So back to this cat. Here, center line, so that's what the little dip is, your collarbone. Coming to your chest. Now this guy, all of his muscles are going to connect. That's going to be the one thing about this one. They're going to connect and they're going to be a little bit rounder. And it's always good to chop your wrist off. That way you know if it's aiming at you or aiming away by doing the hole. There's that palm, there's that thumb. So depending on the angle, as I say, you may see the other fingers, but a lot of times it may be in shadow. You may see the second side of the palm. And I don't want to get it too bigger. I don't want to make the hands bigger. Your hands, yeah, I don't know if your actual hands will actually grow bigger. You can exercise and make your biceps and all of that stuff a little bigger. But your hands, your head, your feet, I don't think they grow any bigger, no matter how much you work out. So I'm going to cut this right here. I'm going to separate that, bring that down, bring that bicep out of there, tricep, make that little cut here, come down, because there is a separation between the bicep and the tricep, and there's like this little single muscle in between there, and it comes around and it forms that arm. A bit of the elbow and the arm, and then just kind of pull back every now and then to make sure your arms are not too long. So let's work on that. Give them a little bit of good lats, smaller waist. So the chest is going to come out a little bit more. See, this chest is more down. This one is going to have a little more curve to it. It's going to connect as I said. I usually put my little V right here and then bring it around to down, and then you come down. Same thing here, bring it around because it's all one big arch. Comes in and you come down. You're going to have this little leftover on the side depending on how much you are turned for your obliques. Same thing here. If it comes around here, your obliques are going to be right here coming in, and then this goes down to the crotch. And then you have your hips right here. Where's the oblique? Oblique comes in and down. And you have the hips right here, and your legs come up in a little tiny piece of buttocks. So coming in, and I usually like to suck my stomach ends right there, and come down and out. That way it gives them that more of that, well, let's call it a vacuum. If you ever look at bodybuilding, when they suck the stomach in, you're sucking your spine in. You're sucking your stomach into your spine. You're not flexing the stomach. You're pulling it in. I think now they really don't do that. That was a big thing back in the Schwarzenegger days, but now they just kind of like flex their stomach to make these squares show a little bit more. And a lot of people have that, what they call that bubble gut, the round stomach. When they're not flexing, the stomach is like really round, like they're fat, but you see the muscles. Bubble gut. So, okay, so we'll separate my arm here with a little triangle or the point, and then it separates and it goes to the thumb. Add maybe a little something else to the bicep. Big shoulders. Your neck is going to come here and then up. So I have to readjust that head. Head's going to be looking that way. See, he started out higher than the other guy anyway, so not necessarily he's taller, just his shoulder line was higher than this guy. Head is looking that way, straight down neck, shoulder's going to come right to that point where this hits the collarbone, and then you have that curve around here, because this is curved and this is curved here, so you're going to have that over and in and over like that. So that's why you have this little suction separation part right here. If I was doing a coloring, it would look like that. Color, but I'm not trying to color because I have to erase all of that stuff. So here, and we're going to have that center part of that leg come around, give it those big thighs, muscle here, other one here separates the knee. And a lot of times you have to remember that sometimes your knee is not going to be facing forward. Maybe tilt it to the side a little bit. Sometimes I like to draw just the center line down the leg to remember that that knee might not be facing forward all the time. So we have this curve in and this comes around. Remembering that foot is going to be kind of turned in. See, I'm making this guy a little taller. I didn't want him to be taller, but he's kind of getting there. I could probably shorten that thigh just a smidgen. So I say it's good to walk away from your picture. Just a smidgen. I don't want to make it too short. So if that leg is going to come here, so this is going to be the center, so it's going to be over here. See, my knee is going to be here, kind of like that, like that diamond shape. And when this comes down, you're going to have a little extra over here, a little extra meat over here, some over here, which goes right kind of down into the ankle. You have your calf, and then you have your long piece going this way. And then the foot. Inside ankle is higher than your outside ankle. So inside of the thigh, it comes up. And then this piece is going to be a little higher. The outer piece, I believe, is higher, and then you're still going to get that knee in there. Make that a little bigger, bring it in, curve it around, and then you have that calf. And then that foot. And usually that is like the size that, he might be a little more bulkier, but this is usually the size that I tend to draw my characters. Like I say, he is a little more, maybe a little more bulkier because of the chest and the shoulders. But when we get to this guy, we'll get to the mass effect. And at some angles, you'll see the inside of that tricep, some angles. So here, sorry about my throat. May need a Coke. All right, so checking it out a little bit more, and I will, before I ink this, I will probably let it sit for another day and kind of make sure everything is looking all right. more fatter. I'm going to draw through. They're not going to be exact. That's just, yeah, they're not going to be exact. Okay, so coming up here, from this point going down, you're going to have your, what are these things called again? It starts with an S. Serratus muscles. And after that, starts your latissimus dorsi. So, all right, and I will adjust his head later, probably in ink. Because I know everybody's waiting for the big guy. Me too, because I have no idea. So, all right, so follow my center line. I'm going to do my center line, and I'm going to curve it out more. Already, guys looking buff, because that center line is coming out, and it's going to go in, and then back down, and then curve down here. So I've already got my torso line, so I'm going to go up and down. I'm going to put my chest just a little bit above there, curve it around. Remember, it's going to, from wherever this delt comes and this touches, that line is going to be here, and that represents where that chest is going to start to curve at. So this is going to come out and up more because he's going to be buff. So like this stayed on pretty much on that line. This is going to come off of that line. This is, if this is the line here, if this is the line for the rib cage, that chest is coming off that line. He's just buff. He's just a buff dude. All right, and curving around for the delt, and the bone right here, and then curve in. Have this little piece, the collarbone that comes around. The delt is going to come right off of that collarbone. Now, what you want to do is make it more rounder and a little bigger. Think of a balloon. If you have a balloon and you put a little bit of air in it, you take a balloon and you put a lot of air in it, it's going to be more rounder. And the wrists are going to be bigger, thicker, which is going to imply that it is shorter, but it's the same length. It's just thicker. It's like that balloon was this long when you started, but once you put the air in it, it got shrunk, but it opened up that way. So again, here is my delt out more down toward the chest. So this is going to be like more like this because that arm is going to tuck right under that. So I want to put that arm is out. So you still want to, I want to keep that arm, but I'm still going to make that arm massive. So I'm going to bring that delt up higher, that bicep, tricep higher up on the delt. Bring it out more and then down, give it that kind of shape. Now what you can do here with the bicep, there's a couple things you can do with bicep. You can have it long like this, or you can have the short version. It still sticks out, but it'll go in like this. And then you have a little extra meat right there that actually goes right into the forearm like that. You know, it's like Schwarzenegger had it when he was younger. Some people have that longer version. Some people have that little mountain. I guess it depends on what muscle you work on your bicep. So I'm going to kind of meet in the middle and have it drop off. So let's adjust this a little bit more so it won't be too flat. And of course the lat is going to come way back and in. And then we're going to have this waist, small waist. Well, you don't want too small a waist on a big guy because it's got a lot of frame to carry around. So you want to keep it thick but not fat. You don't want to have the love handles come way out like this, or the obliques, and then your hips come below it. That's how you can, you know, you have that little fat. Keep it like on one line. John Byrne was another person that inspired me because he just would just go straight. After this, he would go straight. All his figures were just straight down. And that I was like, wow, that's neat. I didn't understand it back in the day, but As I started learning to draw, I understood it. But for some reason, I don't know who I studied, that they always had the obliques and it was big. What is that book? I'm trying to look if I can see it. But anyway, maybe I'll throw it in the little description thing. That they were back in the day, the Renaissance kind of day, they would always have that fat oblique. No matter how muscular they were, when they did their little Adonis type of pictures, it would still be that fat oblique, but they were still muscular. So here, and make the center part the widest, right there, if you can see that, or the highest, and then come back down. And then, of course, some of that is going to go behind this leg here. This leg is going to come out from under here, like this. So I'm going to have this big, the knee, and then that massive calf. So you're just making it. If the initial one was like this, you're just adding that extra bulk to your initial drawing. So like this. That, bring this out more. That knee, still gonna have that little bit of meat here and here. Shove that knee over a little bit. I tend to keep drawing those legs in the center. Something I'm gonna have to catch myself doing. Just like when I draw small delts. And this thing is, how does this go? This is going to go, you're going to have this, it's going to come up here. And you're going to have this one over here. You're still going to have that separation. Drawing through. And then when I take my eye, when I look at all three of them, I can bulk one up more or slim one down a little bit more. Inside calf is higher than the outside calf. That's why I kind of usually do this little curve here to kind of help me remember. And he got long. I could probably shorten this again, but I'm not, because it looks pretty good. He's a big guy. So got your shoulders. You want to make your shoulders. You don't want to go too crazy until you get the head in there. So you have the neck, the V that comes here, and the neck is going to go straight up. I'm going to work on that neck in a second. And then my head. Notice I am drawing more of this versus oval at times. Because if I'm doing a guy, number one, I want his neck to be right on the side. So I don't want it round, because it might go past his neck. I'm more of a square when I do a big guy, and then I round off or square off the jaw if I have to. I'm doing that. Let's get that, let's do red so I can see a little better. Your head is not going to get any bigger because you work out at the gym, 5 times a week. Your neck will get it, but your head won't. So, is that a good size head? I should shift it over a little bit. And give this more curve. And then what I want to do is take this neck and I'm going to bring that neck out more of a triangle. Instead of straight up and down like this, I'm going to give him kind of like a triangle almost. And that's how you can tell if somebody's more powerful than the next guy by the size of his neck. Because when you do those shoulders, you're going to get that neck as well. So I'm going to lift those shoulders up a little bit more, higher up on that neck, and curve this one up and around and down. And you can definitely see just by the chest being more out and the shoulders being higher and rounder, you can definitely see the size power difference between the two. So now I add my detail. So again, from this point to here where this oblique comes up, I'll do that. And I'll have my serratus. And I think you only see 5, I think. 3 of, I think 5. But you do your own thing. So, and, you know, to really kind of flex them, sometimes I do that. I don't, because to me, it takes away from the actual meat from the character. When the muscle is swollen, you won't be able to see too much of the ribs. And I think these, you know, it's like if you're thin, you see a lot of ribs, but if you're thick, I don't think you'll see these, because this is, once you work out that lat, these come out. So right here, I'm not sure. I'm not that muscular. So yeah. All right. So going doing the abs. Remember, just we have that roundness. We have that whole thing is round. So if you follow that roundness, you should be good with the abs. And you're gonna have a space like this. You have like this little dark space because your abs stick out and they go in, and then you have this like kind of like sunken space and it comes back out. Some people have it as more prominent, some people don't, but the way I draw, I do. Because I don't want the abs to go all the way across there, because the abs are not really that wide. It's just small little bricks. But I think because of the skin and the way when the skin pushes out, it'll make it look wider. Triangle, triangle, if you can't see that. Triangle, diamond. Diamond between each, and coming down here. Your belly button is going to be right about there, but I still do that diamond. And your half of your triangle is going to be here. Where is that? And then I'll do the lines that connect or separate. And go all the way down, and this one can go all the way down too, because this cat is muscular. And then you really won't see that darkness over here because of the angle he's turned. There's my obliques, and then there's my hip. It goes into my leg. So bring that head up a little bit more. And also the size of the head determines the size of the body. I pause because I'm staring at my monitor, because it's looking at that, it's like a separate pair of eyes. So this, you have this muscle coming here. It's going around, okay, kind of like this. I think it goes behind it or something, and then this. And then you have these that come out here. Making sure that I could make it wider, which would make it shorter, which would make his arms bigger. And for somebody muscular, you do want to give them bigger hands. You do want to give them bigger. Not that I can say your hands are not going to grow. I don't know, maybe you can do like finger exercises and stuff, but for a big man to have tiny baby hands, it just ain't right. It just ain't right. And then this hand, how did I have this hand is going down, back, the palm, and that thumb, and finger bent right there. And with this guy, you can see the other part of the palm, but I'm not gonna, well, just a tad bit. So when I ink it, it'll be that way. So, okay, here, that is definitely wrong. You won't really see it. You won't see this depending on the turn. You see a little bit, but because his leg is turned, you're going to see more of this, and that's probably going to go way up in here. And you get a little bit of curve. I'll define that when I ink it. This is going to be a long video. If you're still here, thank you. I was going to try to speed it up, but it just didn't work. And I know I did the wrong side of the leg here. That should be smooth all the way down. This one is your curve in, and then it curves a little bit. Knee, this, because your leg it goes around. And it's kind of shaped like that, and you have your little part of the buttocks back there, but you won't see that. So you have your three guys, and I'm going to fast motion, or I might just cut it to, which would probably be a little quicker, cut it to ink it. So going back over it, same size, well, they were the same size. You don't want to connect your muscles. You can still give them the muscles, just don't connect them with your guy. Don't make the neck too big or the shoulders too round. I kind of like slope the shoulders in like this. I kind of like came in, which is, you know, still giving it muscular, but when you get big, you curve your shoulders down like that. So yeah, so that's kind of an easy guy. Small neck, same size head. This guy, you connect all your muscles mainly. You don't have to add extra lines, but you connect your muscles. Neck should be the same size as the head, or the head shouldn't come past the neck. And let's say the chest is gonna make it round, but this guy comes out more. It just comes out so it can suck back more. And yeah. So this guy, you just round the muscles off more, which will make it look more swollen. And I mean, if he was like really, you know, jacked, then I could do something like this, some veins or something to make the guy. And then, where's that muscle? The muscle comes out from here. And then of course you have your striations right there. And then of course, I'll say muscles come out from there too as well. You can do all of that extra to give him that superhuman, almost Hulk-like kind of body. So, all right, I'm going to stop ink, and then I'll come back to save some time. And this guy's looking at us, so I'd have to adjust this. I want him to look to the side. So, yeah, I'm going to stop it, look at it, then ink it, and I'll be right back. All right, here we are with the finished products. And firstly, you have to forgive my inking. This is what happens when you rush an ink job. So as I started inking this guy, he started swelling up a little bit more than I wanted him to. But a couple things I want to point out is when I inked this guy, I inked all three of them with a thin marker firstly. Then I added just a little bit of line weight on this guy, a little more line weight on this guy, and a lot more line weight on that guy. Along with, you know, making the muscles bigger, connecting them. And I could make some more shadow, a little more shadow on all of them, but I'm not a big shadow person, nor am I a big inker. So yeah, that's going to be it for this. Let me think back. Am I missing something? Yeah, that's kind of a big jump between him and him, as I said, because when I started inking, my old habits started taking over, and he started bulking up a little bit more than I wanted him to. But you know the actual steps now to do your characters and different sizes, because you should never have a book where every character is the same size, the same muscle definition, the same everything, same head shape, same haircut, that type of thing, unless you're doing like quadruplets. So, yeah, anyway, I'll start rambling in a minute. So this is going to be it for this video. I would pause it and say, hit the subscribe button, but you should be subscribed already. Hit the like button if you like it. And I'm going to get into more teaching, you know, along with my action pose positions, because people like the action poses because they can draw their characters. So that's going to be it for this video. I will see you guys in the next video. Tell a friend.